What if I told you that one man, armed with nothing but geometry, sand, and thought, understood forces that humanity would only rediscover 2,000 years later? No telescopes, no laboratories, no computers. Just a mind so precise that even today, engineers still use his equations. This is the story of Archimedes, a man who could measure infinity, explain gravity before gravity had a name, design weapons that terrified empires, and die because he refused to stop thinking. In this video, you'll discover how Archimedes uncovered the hidden laws of nature, why Rome feared his mind more than entire armies, how his ideas vanished and returned centuries later, and why modern science begins not in the Renaissance, but in ancient Syracuse. This is not a legend. This is the origin story of scientific thinking. Archimedes was born around 287 BC in the Greek city of Syracuse, on the island of Sicily. At the time, there was no concept of physics as we understand it today. Nature was explained through philosophy, myth, and intuition. But Archimedes grew up surrounded by mathematics. His father, Phidias, was an astronomer. From an early age, Archimedes learned something radical. The universe could be measured, not guessed, not interpreted, measured. As a young man, Archimedes traveled to Alexandria, the greatest intellectual center of the ancient world. Here, mathematics was treated as a language of reality. But while others focused on abstract proofs, Archimedes asked a dangerous question. What if geometry describes how the real world actually behaves? This single idea would change everything. If you're still watching, you're witnessing the birth of scientific thinking itself. If you want to support documentaries that explore ideas, not myths, consider becoming a member of 5 Minutes of Culture. Your support helps keep these stories accurate, deep, and cinematic. Now let's return to the discovery that made Archimedes immortal. The famous story is simple. Archimedes steps into a bath. Water rises. He shouts, "Eureka!" But the reality is far more profound. Archimedes realized that an object immersed in water experiences an upward force equal to the weight of the fluid it displaces. This was not a trick. It was the discovery of buoyancy, a universal physical law. For the first time in history, a natural phenomenon was described mathematically. Nature obeyed equations. Archimedes didn't stop there. He studied levers, pulleys, centers of mass, and equilibrium. He famously stated, "Give me a place to stand, and I will move the earth." This was not arrogance. It was a mathematical truth. Archimedes proved that force could be amplified through geometry. Every crane, every machine, every mechanical system today still follows his principles. Archimedes attempted something no one had dared before: to measure infinity. He calculated the value of p with astonishing precision between 3.1408 and 3.1429. Without calculus, without algebra, without modern notation, he used exhaustion, slicing shapes into ever smaller pieces. 2,000 years later, calculus would formalize what Archimedes already understood intuitively. When Rome attacked Syracuse in 214 BC, Archimedes was already elderly, but his mind became the city's greatest weapon. Ancient sources describe massive catapults, cranes that lifted enemy ships, and mirrors that were possibly used to focus sunlight. Not all accounts are fully verifiable, but one thing is certain. Roman soldiers feared Archimedes. They feared calculations more than swords. Syracuse resisted Rome far longer than expected, because one man understood force better than an empire. In 212 BC, Syracuse fell. During the chaos, a Roman soldier found Archimedes absorbed in a mathematical diagram. The soldier ordered him to come. Archimedes refused. Not out of defiance, but because the problem wasn't finished. The soldier killed him. Rome conquered the city, but it could not conquer the mind that had already decoded nature. After his death, Archimedes' works slowly disappeared. Many survived only in fragments. Some were rediscovered centuries later in Arabic translations. Others, such as the Archimedes palimpsest, were erased and overwritten by monks, then recovered using modern imaging techniques. Humanity almost lost him, and with him, centuries of scientific progress. Galileo studied Archimedes. Newton admired him. Einstein called him one of the greatest minds in history. Why? Because Archimedes did something unique. He applied pure mathematics to physical reality. That is the foundation of physics. Archimedes didn't build laboratories. He built a method. He showed that the universe is not mysterious because it is unknowable, but because it is precise. He was born too early for his world, but not too early for ours. Archimedes understood the universe and paid for it with obscurity, neglect, and silence. But every time you trust an equation, every time you believe nature follows rules, you are standing where Archimedes once stood. If this story changed how you see science, subscribe to 5 Minutes of Culture. Because next time, we'll uncover another mind that understood reality long before humanity was ready.